Hi, this is Don't Turn Out the Lights, episode 4, a show where I read creepy stories to you that people have shared with me in hopes of creeping you out. So let's get started. The first story was submitted to me by a friend of mine on my Facebook. So let me get started with it. A kind of creepy story is when we bought our house, we could hear the steps creak in ascending and descending order. So not just random creaks. My oldest daughter, whose room was upstairs, always slept wrapped up like a mummy because she felt like ghosts could watch her sleep. When my mother and sister-in-law came in to visit from Mexico, they refused to sleep upstairs because it was haunted, and we had not even told them anything. They were very superstitious, and I don't know why they felt creeped out and scared. But my sister-in-law doesn't even drink, but she wanted a drink to calm her nerves so she could sleep that evening. Creepy. The next one is, for the past 3 weeks, my 3-year-old daughter has been talking about her big brother, Justin, going on and on about how he's always been there for her and how he comforts her and doesn't let the bad guys get her. Justin covers her ears when she is scared and tells her to close her eyes. Then she talks about, my old daddy got killed, so now I have a new daddy. And then, on top of all of that, she's told me how her grandparents were shot and how she went to school and someone came in and started shooting the school and killed her. And she said it like it was the easiest thing in the world to say. The thing is my daughter has no brother named Justin and doesn't know anyone named Justin. My daughter only has one daddy. I've been with my husband for 10 years and never once have we split up or has had a man that she called daddy. It's always been my husband. As for her grandparents, my mother and father are both alive and doing well, and my husband's mother and father died 22 and 20 years ago, both from cancer. My child goes to daycare where she's been going since she was 6 weeks old. They watch cartoons and educational things like Elmo. Never once has she went to any school. Still, she's only 3. We don't let the kids watch horror movies or the news or anything like that. But she's been so specific about everything that she has said recently, and she is 100% certain that it actually happened. She's been talking about Justin for weeks, and I figured it was an imaginary friend. Now I'm not so sure. So, if you know who Justin might be, and if he has a little sister, or I guess maybe, doesn't mean, if it was a reincarnation situation, then she might not be, she doesn't have to be female in the past life. So if you know somebody that has Justin, that had an older brother named Justin and a sibling that died in a shooting at school, then we might have found a reincarnation of that person. So, interesting. I'm going to go ahead and end tonight with a story of my own. Or at least one of the ones that I have. I have lived in a haunted house with my father whenever I was a kid for years, to the point that I wouldn't, by the time I became like a teenager, I just couldn't go over there anymore because it had gotten so bad. You know, the whole, they mess with you during puberty thing and all that. But anyways, let me go ahead and share with you one of the ghosts that lived in that house. So this house was built in the 1920s, and it was split down the middle at one point. So there was two apartments, one on each side. My bedroom was in the side of one apartment. The living room and my dad's room and the computer room were all on the other side. And it became such a consistent thing that I couldn't sleep in my room anymore. So what would happen is I would go to sleep, and I'd have nightmares of an old man screaming in my face to get out, get out, get out, get out. Like I was invading his space. He said, get out of my house, all kinds of stuff like that in my dreams. And come to find out, he was one of the people that lived in the apartment on that side before we lived there. And by the time we lived there, the house had been put back into being just one house. So, yeah, I had a ghost that would scream in my face, when I was sleeping to get out. So I sure did. And I never slept in that room. I barely even hung out in that room. And it was right next to the garage, and the garage gave me super heebie-jeebies too. So I'm thinking like maybe he died in the garage, but I'm not sure. It doesn't say. He just died of old age. And that's just one of the ghosts that was in the house that I lived in growing up. And that's actually kind of the least creepy one. So yeah. Thank you for watching Don't Turn Out the Lights, a show about paranormal. If you would like to submit a story to me, you can do so at DontTurnOutTheLights@gmail.com. No apostrophes or anything. It's just Don't Turn Out the Lights, all just letters, @gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching Don't Turn Out the Lights.